Hey, what's going on, guys? Andrew here, and as I promised, delivering on my Boogeyman Trilogy. Yeah, I'm not feeling up to it. Kind of really depressed still, but yeah, I promised you guys I'd do this, and so I'm gonna do it. Basically, so I did watch this, and basically my initial thoughts are I actually really enjoyed the second and the third ones. Thank you to, I can't remember if it was Reject Films or if it was somebody else who, if it was Dan or if it was somebody else who had given me the, whoever it was, I'm sure, please feel free to let me know who it was, because I can't remember, it was quite a while ago. But yeah, I have to say I enjoy all three films. I will say that I probably won't watch these very often, but my favorite one's the second one. The first one, I'll be honest, I watched it in the theaters when I was growing up, and I thought it was really creepy, really scary whenever I first watched it. I was, it was 2004? 2005, I was 12 years old. And my brother was 7, and I know he went in and watched it with us too. And so, yeah, I thought it was good. Over the years I've watched it here and there. I've heard all the hate from it. I watched it a couple years ago, and I didn't think it was as good as I remembered it being. But yeah, recently watching it, I watched it 3 days ago, and I thought that it was just okay. I still think there are a lot of really terrifying parts. There are parts that will probably always scare me, like the part where he's in the rocking chair and then it sits up. That scene will forever scare me. I can't remember. There's a couple others though that really terrify me. But the thing that plagues this movie, and that plagues all of the movies in this series, is the CGI. It is almost comical how horrendous the CGI looks in every one of these movies. I don't understand it. I don't understand how the CGI can look just so bad. The Boogeyman, every time you see him, it's just jolting how terrible it looks. I don't know. Like, and even in the second and third one, every time there's a CGI scene. Now, I will say the second one really has very minimal CGI. So that's probably also why I really, because I don't get docked as many points. The third one also has a ton of CGI. Actually, the Boogeyman is CGI'd again in this movie. It's just god-awful. Yeah, the first one, if I were to rate it, also the thing that doesn't do it for me in this movie is just the characters aren't really that interesting. I feel like if they were to take it the route of more of a psychology route, more or less than just a purely, like, also I feel like if they were to do it more in a Woman in Black route, or if it was more atmospheric and everything, like, it definitely would have worked, even if they would have went the supernatural route. But psychological route, I definitely worked for the second and the third one, more so than this one. Yeah, I think it could have worked. It just isn't as executed as well as I remember. If I were to rate it, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. It's just average. It's not anything special. I know that I've listened to a couple people. I remember Moods for sure says that he just absolutely hates this one. I think I still will always, think this is okay just because I have so many good memories with it, but it's nowhere near as good as I remember it being. It just isn't that good. I know that it kind of, the theme of all of these, the whole trilogy here is the face your fears, and that's kind of the whole point of this movie. But it's just not executed very well. I do like the premise. I like the story. I think it could have worked. Because, he spends a whole night in his house, and, it could have definitely worked. And you got all this, like, time travel. And they don't really touch on that either. Like, he just ends up in a different place, and, like, that's never touched upon. And there's so many loose ends in this movie. It's just average. Now, the second one takes place in a psych ward, I believe. I think it is, yeah. Yeah, mental health facility. So yeah. And this, you know, it's definitely more of a psychology route, and you know, so that stuff I really do enjoy. I really think it really works in this movie, and it's a slasher film, so it definitely is it's one of those ones that's a very serious slasher. It's basically like See No Evil or See No Evil 2, or, you know, one of those where it takes itself very seriously, almost overly serious. Which, you know, kind of definitely hurts it on multiple viewings, but it's still a very solid movie. But yeah, the Boogeyman is still very much in effect in this movie, and it definitely takes a more psychological route of, is the Boogeyman actually real? Are these people actually dying? Is she killing them? You know, it definitely keeps you guessing up, you know? It's definitely a very solid movie. If I were to rate this one, also the characters are really good, and it's definitely got some really cool character scenes in this movie that make you care about the characters. If I were to rate it, I'd give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. So I'd give it a 7. Now the Boogeyman 3, I do think it's I still think it's a little bit of a step up from the first Boogeyman. As much as that pains me to say, because I have a lot of really good memories with the first one. You know, there's so many things that I just, again, find so terribly wrong with this movie. Like, it takes place in a college, so I automatically like it. I love any college dorm films. That's a really cool, you know, but you kind of spend most of the time in the dorm room, so it really could be an apartment building, it really could just be a house, it doesn't really matter. I guess it does have sort of a dorm feel. You kind of do, you know, spend time in other people's dorm rooms, and you can definitely tell they actually shot this on a college, I believe, unless they just shot the exteriors on a college, I'm not sure. But the rooms do feel like dorm rooms, like that. What I'm in right now, it definitely feels like a dorm room. The characters are all really good. I think I love Sarah. Audrey's also a really good character for the time that she's in it. And then, yeah, the boyfriend's really annoying. The psychiatrist is okay character. He kind of gets annoying every once in a while. Again, this is one of those movies where, like, it's just that it takes the progression that I know that it would naturally. Like, if a girl actually thinks that a boogeyman, a supernatural entity, is gonna murder everybody in a specific dorm room, you know, everybody's gonna think she's nuts. But I've seen that in so many movies, and I hate that. I hate that storyline. Like, I just cannot stand that. I don't know why. I just can't stand it. I hate whenever they're like, and then they're taken away and, you know, seen for psychiatric help. And by the way, campus safety takes her in and locks her up in a cell. Now, I'm almost 100% sure that campus safety does not have a jail cell, like pretty much like a jail cell. And secondly, they just treat her so much worse than a campus safety. Like, campus safety would just take her in for questioning, or they would give her to the police. Like, campus safety doesn't actually have, like, as far as I'm concerned, like, as far as I know, like, my campus safety place doesn't have that. Like, it's just, like, so many things in this movie. I know that's realistic, but it just, like, I really wish for one time they would make a movie where the psychiatrist or the psychologist is like, really, tell me more, and, like, let's explore that. Like, and more of an intrigue than just a complete denial. Like, I just get so annoyed by that. And for that, it's solid. It's like a slasher, like a supernatural slasher type. It's like, I'll give it a 5.5 out of 10. It got really good characters. I might even lean more towards a 6 on this one. It's definitely a solid movie, but again, the CGI is just appalling. But yeah, it's an okay trilogy. It's definitely one that I would say that I would watch. I would definitely watch like once every couple of years. You know, I probably won't watch these for a while now, but if I watch them, I'll probably just watch them as their own trilogy. yeah, I might watch them again next year, especially the third one since I'm in, I'm in school and everything. So, yeah, that's my series. Hopefully you guys are having a good week. Yeah. But I do kind of chuckle at this. On the first Boogeyman, you might be able to see this, but it says the scariest movie ever. Yeah, it's not even in the remotely close area. This guy probably had seen just this movie. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just sign off now. Tomorrow you'll be getting my review for the Neon Demon. So yeah, I'll be watching a little bit of that today. I'm not gonna re-watch it because I got a lot of movies I want to get through in November. So, but yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow with that review. Hopefully you enjoyed these. Let me know your thoughts on this series if you've seen any of them. Just let me know your thoughts. Yeah, and have a great night, guys.